Hi everyone, welcome to Vision Boarding for Abundance. This is our second vision board live Facebook video thing. The last time I did the vision board, it was for love, romance, to attract my true love and everything. But now I am doing one for abundance, not just for financial abundance, but for other types of abundance. So I'm going to show you the current setup I have now. And I have you on top of my little African boy. See, there's my little African boy. I have a golden candle to set the ambiance. I'm gonna unplug this. I have my blank vision board. And I have all of my pre-cut images in a pile. So I will tell you what each category is, and I'll show you along the way as I cut. So this pile is basically for travel, because I want to travel to different places. This pile is for love, and I have one of my art pieces. This one's called Black Love Poster, and it's a silk piece, so I'm gonna put that on the board. This pile is just for like random things I want, like paintings and different things. This pile is for children, because I want to have a child one day after I get married. This pile is for friends and the people around me, because when I'm abundant, their abundance will increase as well. I have a pile of words. I have a pile of words that I wrote on a piece of paper. This pile represents health. This pile is for just home ownership. And this pile is just to be, I guess, wearing the lavish lifestyles like jewelry and being bougie and everything. So before I get started, I will light my candle, and I'm gonna switch over so you can see me. Oops. Okay, now I'm back. So I'm gonna light my candle just to set the mood. I would play some music, but I don't know what songs are copyrighted, and I don't want this video to go silent as I do it. So, golden candle. And in this video, we're going to be, as I do my vision board, we're going to be talking about abundance, different types of abundance. Near the end, I will show you some books that I have related to abundance and goals. I'm also going to be sharing some of my personal stories with you and some affirmations for you to say as we go along. So my pile of books is over here. I have my glue sticks ready, because during this video, I will not finish the whole vision board. I will be finishing it afterwards, and you will be able to see it when I post it. But anyway, so the first topic is abundance. What is abundance? When people think of abundance, I can like do it this way where you can see me and the board. So when people mostly think of abundance, their automatic thought is money. And abundance is more than that. Like, you can have money, but that doesn't mean that you feel abundant. You can have all of the money in the world, but that is not where your feeling of abundance lies. Some people, their feeling of abundance is tied in with their physical health. And I'm sharing this from personal experience. A few years ago, I was really sick. I was in bed for a month. I couldn't stand. I lost a couple of pounds because I couldn't eat. It was pretty bad. And that's when I realized that one of my channels of abundance is my physical health. You can have all of the money in the world, but if you don't have the physical health that you desire, you can't enjoy it. Like, what good is it to go on a free, all-expense-paid trip to Jamaica when you can't even breathe, or you can't walk, or you can't function in the healthiest way that you possibly can, you know? So, let me see. For example, there was a guy named Junius G. Groves, and they called him the Potato King of, I guess, Kansas. I don't know where he was. I think he was in Kansas. So Junius G. Groves was born enslaved, and After he was freed from enslavement, he saved up enough money, and him and his wife basically moved to Kansas, or I think they moved to Kansas, but they saved and saved and saved and invested in potatoes. And because they invested so much in potatoes, they basically made their millions, right? So after they had about 6, 7 kids, the kids got, spouses, and all of these people helped on the farm, and that made them even more money. So Junius G. Grove's place of his abundance was his freedom. You can have all the money in the world, but if you are enslaved, it really doesn't matter. All you want is the taste of freedom. All you want is to feel the feeling that you felt before you were enslaved. The feeling where you can go anywhere you want to go. You can, be anywhere, be anybody that you wish to be, that you desire to be. So that's why I say it's different from everyone. For example, here in America, we're just like, money, 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 oh, money, 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 money. But in other societies, you can have money, but you get more from a cow. And some people here would laugh at that. They're like, a cow? What can you get from a cow? You can get a lot from a cow. You can get milk. You can get a free lawnmower. You can get more cows. You can get meat. You can get clothing. It's just limitless. You can turn the milk into different things as well. From one cow, from 2 cows, you can get multiple sources of income, multiple products. If you plant a seed from an apple into the ground, you will get an apple tree. If you plant a dollar bill into the ground, what will you get? Nothing. Nothing. You're not going to get anything. It's not going to grow. Some people believe that you have to be poor, like one group has to be poor, one group has to be rich. But I don't think it works like that, because when I open a piece of fruit, I see multiple seeds. That's multiple trees. That's multiple fruit coming into the future if I plant it or treat it in the right way. So if the world is giving to me, if the world is consistently giving me more and more and more abundance, why should I limit myself? Why should I limit myself to this mindset that I can only have if this person cannot have? Trying to get both of this. I don't know if that's even possible. Hold on. I'm trying to think the African way. Yeah, it's just like the concept of competition. When I was a child, I was very competitive. Actually, not just a child. When I was a teenager, up until my maybe mid-20s, I was very, very, very competitive. And because I was so competitive, it actually increased sadness in me, because I felt that I had to fight for everything that I desired. I felt like there was always somebody lurking around the corner waiting to take my good away from me. But if you are in a constant state of abundance, you won't have to worry about your good being taken away by somebody else, because there's more than enough to go around. That's why you read different holy scriptures, and it's saying, my cup overfloweth, my cup overfloweth, my cup overfloweth. It overfloweth with oil, it overfloweth with water, it overfloweth with food, it overfloweth with money. Whatever your cup represents is overflowing. This is seen in various holy texts. This concept is. Yet we are still living in a state of, if I don't get this job, there won't be enough money to go around. The economy is falling. Oh no, what am I going to do? No matter what decade, no matter what century it was, whether it was a plague, whether it was something else going on, there was always one person in that devastated economy that was making some type of money. Whether it was an invention, whether it was something whimsical like a snake oil salesman, who knows? They were making some money doing that. May not have been honest, but they were in this mindset of abundance. Have you ever heard the saying of, a millionaire will always be a millionaire? They can go bankrupt and still be a millionaire. They can lose all of their stocks and bonds, be on the streets, and then the next year be back up in their office. Why is that? Why is that because they know who they are. They know that they are a millionaire, and they will only go as low as the lowest concept of themselves. If their lowest concept of themselves is they lose their money and they lose their house, then that's all that's going to happen to them. They're not going to end up on the street. They're just going to lose their house and they're going to lose their money, because that is the lowest concept of themselves. There are some people whose lowest concept of themselves is being homeless on the streets. And so the circumstances might, I guess, collaborate together to make that come true. If they are in a state of depression, if they are in a state of need, they will end up on the streets. When I realized this concept, I was like, you know what? No matter what happens with my finances, no matter what happens with my home life, I will never, ever not have my own place to stay until I am married. And so far, so good. Sometimes I've had money issues. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my place. And I never lose my place, like ever. Never. Because I won't let myself get to that point. So once you realize this concept, you have to think higher of who you are. You have to think higher of like, okay, if my lowest concept of myself is I lose my job and I'm broke for 6 months, then you should change it to like, okay, I lose my job and there's another job waiting for me. Everything will orchestrate for your good. So, what was I saying? Okay, I talked about millionaires. I have notes down here because I'm trying to remember. I get distracted when I'm vision boarding. So, anyway, with abundance, you always have to have some type of trigger. And I don't know, this is just my personal thing. Yeah, milk and honey, spenders or savers. I mean, spending and saving, that's a whole different concept. You had the teacher, Florence Scovel Shinn, back in the turn of the century, who had all of these clients. And a lot of them were, having money issues. And what she said was not save. Her advice was never save. It wasn't like, you have to save for a rainy day. She's like, no. She's like, take me out to dinner. I want you to buy this china cabinet. And they're like, what? I don't have enough money to buy this china cabinet. She's like, buy it anyway. Buy it anyway. And so they would release their money. Okay? They would release their money. And the money would come back twofold or triple-fold or quadruple-fold. Why did it happen like that? Because when you hold on to something, just imagine that your life is a vein. When you hold on to something too tightly, you become a blood clot in your own life. You stop the flow of things. They are holding on to their money in a sense of fear. They're not holding on to their money in a sense of, oh, well, I'm just adding to my abundance. No, they were in a state of panic, and that is why they were losing money. Don't you see those people who just throw money everywhere and then it comes back? They're on their last dollar, and next thing you know, they have $100. Isn't that crazy? Because you have to think. It's always coming back to you. There is money to be made everywhere. There's people making YouTube videos doing nothing, playing video games, and people are watching them play video games, and they are becoming millionaires. There are people with the stupidest songs you've ever heard in your life, making like one-hit wonders. Like, why? I don't understand. But that's what they said. You have to claim this abundance into your life. That's why sometimes when if I'm ever feeling broke, I start singing all sorts of songs that have money in it, okay? Some of the songs have profanity. I try to censor them when I'm saying it on the bus because, I don't want little children to hear me cursing. So, like, one example, Money Moves, Cardi B. How'd the song start off? She said, little bleep, you can't bleep with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. And she goes through the song, talking about she's making money moves, she's not tripping over anybody, and that's her mindset. So when you listen to it, you're like, whoa, I don't care what these people say about my finances, I don't care what this person's saying about my career, I'm just on my money move trail. When you stay on that money move trail, the money, you're gonna eventually hit it. For example, some people in my life. I'm going to use examples of people from my life who stayed on their path even when people didn't believe that they would get there. So I have a Facebook friend, and I'm not going to mention any names unless they have like a business. Then I'll shout them out. So first Facebook friend. This Facebook friend, I went to grade school with them. We were in the same, I guess we went to grade school from 3rd to 4th grade together. And this girl, she said she wanted to be a model. She said she wanted to be a model. People laughed at her. I don't know if she knew people laughed at her, but I saw people just making fun of her all the time. That's all I saw. They would just tease her and tease her and tease her and say that she couldn't be a model. So next thing you know, what's this girl doing now? Literally, what is she doing now? She's a freaking model. She's been in commercials. She's been in television shows. She's jet setting around the world modeling. That is what she's doing, because she did not lose sight of her vision. No matter how many people laughed at her, no matter how many people said she couldn't do it, she just kept sight of her vision. There's another friend, and I'll mention his name, Safu. Every time I see Safu, what is on his mind? Money. Even if I'm not thinking about money, he's thinking about money. And because he's thinking about money, I start thinking about money. No matter where he goes, people just buy everything because he makes jewelry. I had to see if I can post his website in the comments. No matter where he goes, he's always selling his craft. Why is he making money? Because he is staying in alignment with his goals. Because he is putting his creative force into his product. Because he loves what he's doing. That is why his flow of money is always coming. Every day he's saying affirmations about money. Even his business card is a freaking dollar bill with his face on it. I was like, this is the most lit business card I've ever seen. But because he is in that state of abundance, it just comes to him from all sources, whether it's online, whether it's on the street, whether it's a friend commissioning him for something. That is his whole world. When they think of him, they think of money. So that's one Facebook friend. Another Facebook friend, Christina. Christina is so determined to get her riches. And she is going to empower everyone around her once she gets her riches. The reason money flows to her is because she is always giving. She's either giving information, she's giving money, she's giving presence, she's promoting people, promoting their business. That is why she continues to be successful. One of her goals is to have 1 million YouTube subscribers. 1 million YouTube subscribers. And I believe that she can reach that goal, because when she does YouTube videos, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of views on her video. So because she is in that state of, I will reach this goal, it is going to happen for her. You don't reach something if you stop pursuing it. Eventually it has to come to you, Eventually it has to come to you. That's why you always have to fill your life with prosperity triggers. What are prosperity triggers? Affirmations, songs, all these different things that get you into a state of, I am rich, I am healthy, I am beautiful, I am deserving of this good thing. In fact, I'm going to show you some of my money triggers that I wrote down, and maybe share a couple of them with you as well. So I told you I wrote down some lines, or I made some words, because I have a pile of words since I categorized it. That's how my vision board looks so far. Oops. That's how it looks so far. I know it's going to be full and complete, but these are my prosperity triggers. So, this is from a Nicki Minaj song. I didn't write the whole lyric line because the second half is, all I want is carrots and some big drug money, and I don't do drugs, okay? I don't promote drugs, but I do like this first half of the line. All I want is carrots. And this is from one of her songs. I can't remember which one. But all I want is carrots. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Money moves, that Cardi B song. Money moves. I am making money moves. I am making money moves with my art. I am making money moves with my books. Second trigger, actually, both of these. These two are my other musical triggers. This says lavish, lavish. This one says we live in lavish, lavish. I've got expensive fabrics. I've got expensive habits. That is from a Beyonce song. Sometimes you have to say that. You have to say these songs or these lyrics over and over and over and over until it gets ingrained in your mind. One day I had a poverty position. I call it a poverty position, but it was actually a job that was just not in alignment with my mindset. I was at this job and everybody that came to me had a prosperity or poverty mindset, a poverty consciousness, okay? And because they had this poverty consciousness and because I had this prosperity mindset, we were clashing like this. We were just clashing. And because they had this state of poverty in their mind, how they treated me was what their mindset was like. So they're like, oh, I'm poor, she's here, she must be poor, so I'm going to treat her how I treat myself. But it wasn't going to work like that, because I was saying, I'm living lavish, lavish, I got expensive fabrics, I got expensive habits, and like I'm living on this boulevard and you're living on that boulevard. I told you this in my former video. I told you this about marriage when I did the love vision board, how some marriages fall apart because the spouses have different mindsets. The rich husband wanted to purchase things on Saks Fifth Avenue, and the wife wanted to purchase stuff at the Goodwill. And because of their consciousness, their marriage fell apart because they were not thinking with one mind, you know? If you are a goal-oriented person and you are with somebody who just wants to drag you down, that relationship is going to fall apart. It is going to implode. Billionaire vibes. I got this term from Christina. And every time I see it, I'm like, I am a billionaire. I am a billionaire. I am a billionaire. I am a billionaire. In fact, I'm going to put it right outside. I'm going to put it right in the middle of my vision board. Yeah. Anyway, so songs are prosperity triggers. Poems are prosperity triggers. Window shopping is a prosperity trigger. Go to the most expensive store that you can possibly think of and just look. Just look at all of these things. Touch the fabrics. Touch the purses. Touch the tennis shoes. Touch the car. Look at it. Test drive it if it's a car. Try it on if it's an outfit. Take a picture of yourself in it. Know that you deserve these things. Don't be like, oh, this is too expensive. This is just so... Eventually, at some point in your life, you had enough money to purchase this thing. You know? Like, you could have $1,000 dress. I don't buy $1,000 dresses because I'm not, like, super into dresses. But at some point in my life, I had $1,000 to buy this dress. The difference is you don't have it all at one time. But within your income, you are able to buy this. At some point in our lives, we have been millionaires. At some point in our lives, we have been thousandaires. But it's been spaced out, you know? It's within us. We are wealthy. Just think about it. You were swimming to be conceived. You beat all those people who are trying to come into this world, and now here you are. That is the one thing, if you haven't won anything in life, that is the one thing that you have won. You beat all of those people trying to get into this world. I'm just saying. So, prosperity trigger, window shopping, prosperity trigger, hanging in environments that represent prosperity. There are some parts of town I will not go in. I won't go there. I won't work there. I won't walk there. I won't frolic there. Why? Because every time I go there, I just feel this depression. I'm just like, get it off of me. Like, get it off of me. I don't want to carry this mess home. I don't want to carry this depression home. I don't want to carry this poverty home. No, it's not coming with me. It's staying here. So certain parts of town where I go, I see the difference. I see the difference. People think you cannot feel poverty physically, but you can. You can physically feel poverty. You can also physically feel wealth. It is a different physical feeling. You are impoverished. It's stress. It's worry. It's being forlorn. It is, Oh my goodness. Consciously Aware Now t-shirt line. Yeah. So post your business in the comments if you want to promote, because we're all going to be abundant. We are abundant right now. So Consciously Aware Now t-shirt line, www.consciouslyaware-awarenow.myshopify.com. So go there and support. But yeah, you can feel it in your body. You can literally feel it. You can walk and be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that hamburger that's covered in gold like they're eating. Oh, but I guess I'll never have that hamburger that's covered in gold, or veggie burger that's covered in gold like they're eating. I'll just never have it. Like the things that you used to feel, the dreams that you used to have, just feel like they're fading out of your fingers, like slipping through your fingers. That is what poverty consciousness feels like. Prosperity consciousness, on the other hand, I have more than enough. Oh yes, I can go here, I can go there. You start making life decisions in a different way. You start operating in a different way. You don't spend your money in panic. You don't have, I guess, habits that are detrimental to your life. I'm about to make a vision board on my journal front. Yes, do that so you can see it every day. Now that we've talked about, as I was saying, parts of town. So if you're not in St. Louis, you're in another town, some of the parts of town that I will go to if I want to feel prosperity consciousness is I go to Clayton, I will go to Richmond Heights, certain parts of Richmond Heights, and I will go to Chesterfield or Creve Coeur. Why? When I'm out there, I'm just watch the people. I don't know if they live there, I don't know, but they operate in a different way. They're just so carefree. They're like, smiling, like, how are you? How are you? Oh, I got my nice purses. Everybody's polished. Like, I'm just like, gosh. And they're just rich and talking about, I guess, first world problems, just going down there. Everything's nice. Everything's polished. Everything's shiny, and just looking at it, looking at the food. Even the restaurants are changed. It's a whole system. Of course, people say that. It's a whole system. I have yet to come across just like a liquor store in Clayton, unless it was like some gourmet liquor store, but just your average liquor store. That's not on the corner of their street. That's not on the corner of their street. These smoke shops and everything, that's not on the corner of their street. They're not about to have that. It doesn't fit in with their mindset. Another thing, now that I've talked about prosperity triggers, poverty triggers. My personal poverty trigger, I don't know if you're going to guess it. I know it won't make any sense. But you can take a guess if you want. What is my poverty trigger? Concrete floors. Like concrete floors. That doesn't make any sense. Concrete floors is my poverty trigger. A while back, I used to work as a groundskeeper at a courthouse. And the courthouse was across the street from a prison. And I guess it was the type of prison that they couldn't go out and, like walk around. Like there was no yard because it was downtown somewhere. And they had little windows and the families would stand and they would like have signs so the prisoners could read it, and they'd be blowing kisses and all of that. So sometimes we would go in the prison, and all I can remember from going in there is concrete walls, concrete floors, the sound of concrete on concrete. So every time I think of concrete anywhere, that is my poverty trigger. That gives me a feeling of sadness. It gives me a feeling of being forlorn. So anything that triggers that aspect of you, stay away from it. Like if you have the same thing I have with concrete floors, don't move into a loft. Most lofts have concrete floors. And that'll just make me feel like I'm in prison. Then I'll start operating as if I am going in that place. It's a whole Pavlov's dog thing. What is your meat? What is your bell? What is your trigger? Once you find out your prosperity trigger, you have to implement it into your life, whether it is playing that song daily over and over and over and over and over. every day I listen to, what was it? Every day I listen to Baby by Me by 50 Cent. I'm not saying it's a great song, but I like the part where he just keeps saying, be a millionaire, be a millionaire. Now, I'm not saying have a baby to be a millionaire. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying in the song, in the music video, if you haven't seen the music video, in the music video, Kelly Rowland is playing some girl who's basically like, I guess, has a kid by somebody else. And then 50 Cent just walks up to her and he just starts telling her all these things like, hey, you can have this whole new life, blah, 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 blah. This is how I'll treat you. And he's showing their life. He's showing their little triplets that they have, the house they're living on. He's taking her to wine and dine and all of these different things and treating her like a whole queen. And she's like looking at this golden opportunity, thinking to herself, okay. But then after he's done talking, who walks around the corner? Her, I guess, baby father. I don't know how he treats her. I don't know. But he'd taken her back to this other life. So when you look at this, I guess, metaphorically speaking, 50 Cent represents your abundance. This baby father dude, he is your state of poverty consciousness. Do you want to go with the millionaire or do you want to go with your state of poverty consciousness? Yes, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Yeah. I'm not about to have a check, baby. But anyway, are you going to go after this millionaire vibes, these billionaire vibes, or are you going to go for brokenness? Who knows? We were just watching I guess, Dave Chappelle recently. And Dave Chappelle told a story about his impoverished childhood. And he said to his father, he's like, I'm so sick of being poor. I'm so sick of being poor. And then his dad was like, David, you're not poor. You're broke. That part just made me so laugh because it's true. You're only poor if you accept that stuff. Really, you are. Unless you have like some mental issue where you really cannot get out of this space, unless you are not truly able-bodied to get out of it by yourself. You can get out of anything if you truly work hard enough. You can. If there's nothing in existence that is there for you to, I guess, enter into, you have to create it. Why did we come here? We came here to create. We came here to create. This is my ring. It's not an engagement ring, but I have it. It says love. There's a heart. So that's when I get married, I will have my true love. Why do I have a picture of other people? Why? Why do I have a picture of other people? You can be like King Midas and keep everything to yourself, your abundance to yourself. But would that truly make you happy? I don't know. A lot of people, when they get wealthy, and some people are like, they do this for tax breaks, they become a philanthropist. I mean, what is money after a while? It's just money. But giving to somebody feels even better than keeping it all to yourself, you know? And when I become a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, however high I reach, I want to help my family. I want to help my friends. My friends have a business. I want to invest in their business because I'll have more than enough to share. Maybe start a school. Maybe feed the hungry. I don't know. Right now, what you can do, let's say you don't have any money and you're trying to get money to come to you. One of the things I do whenever I'm feeling broke, the first thing I do is clean my home. And when I say clean my home, I mean meticulously organize every aspect of my home that I possibly can, to the most minute detail, even if it's color coordinating pencils, colored pencils. All of my colored pencils are color coordinated. Even if it's shredding papers, getting rid of old clothes. Why is that? because as I was talking about earlier, you can become a blood clot in your own life's vein. Clutter is a blood clot. Clutter is like one of the biggest blood clots you can possibly do to your life. Hi, Coco. Hello. Yeah. Clutter is one of the biggest blood clots you can do to your life. Not only will you rebuy what you've already bought, but it will cause anxiety because you're just looking at clutter. And then it starts piling up. When things start piling up, it gets dirty, it gets dusty, it makes you depressed. But when you get rid of all of that stuff, you will feel light as a feather. So, one example. A couple of years ago, I was looking for a job. And I had an interview, and they were taking too long to tell me if I got this job. I was like, oh my God, I need it now. Like, I'm just freaking out. So it's like, Kiara, why are you freaking out? Just do what you've always done. Clean your apartment and you will get an answer. So for 4 days, and they were like trying to make a decision on who to choose. So for 4 days, I cleaned my whole apartment. Like, I organized everything. I was color coding everything. I was sweeping and re-sweeping. And on the 4th day, they called me and they're like, you got the job. We want you to start such and such a time. And it was the exact amount of money that I needed for stability at that time. That is what you can do. If your home is disorganized, if your wallet is disorganized, your life will become disorganized. Your finances will become disorganized. It's almost like a network of things, you know. They'll be like, oh, her home is a mess, so let's just mess with her finances. Ha 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 ha. Her home is cluttered. Let me just like clutter up her bills. You're like, what is happening? What is happening? Because you have formed a clot. Clean your office, clean your house, delete your emails, get rid of the clothes that are cluttering your closet, get rid of the papers that are piling up. Another thing to bring more money. Finish something. You're like, finish something? What? You have to finish something. Sometimes when you leave loose ends and loose ties, that will translate into loose ends and loose ties with your bills, with your finances. There was a woman, and it was in Florence Scovel Shin's book. She was having money issues, and she wanted more money to come into her life. And this is what she went so far. Hold on. She wanted more money to come into her life. And Florence was like, have you finished something? She's like, no, I still have some other projects I'm working on. I still have this thing that I'm knitting, because, you know, it's the turn of the century. It says, you are so right. I have been telling myself this. Operation Get Rid of the Clutter. Yes. Yes. And some people are like, oh, it's a law of attraction thing. That's one thing. But practically, if you don't know what you have, you will buy the same thing that you thought you didn't have. Again, now you're just wasting money that you could have reinvested in yourself. But anyway, back to the story. So she's like, I have blankets that I haven't finished. I have all of this and that I haven't finished. And Florence was like, look, little girl, you need to finish this project. And lo and behold, as soon